There is only one guaranteed way to get better at Escape from Tarkov. And there's really only one guaranteed way to get better at anything in life. And that is to learn from our past experiences, especially our mistakes. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I learned from my mistakes in Escape from Tarkov and how I've made some crazy progress with my community over the past year. My name is Jessekazam, and with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive right in. So to cut right to the chase, I use Replay Buffer in OBS to allow me to essentially record the past up to 2 minutes of anything that happened in a raid. So when I hit a button or when I hit a hotkey, it saves everything that's happened for the prior 2 minutes, and it saves that to my computer, and I can watch that later. And that allows me to watch back an encounter where I died, an encounter where I thought maybe something suspicious happened, or even an encounter that went really, really well that I want to watch back and break down my decision making and how I did that. I'm going to have links down below to how to set that up with your AMD card, with your NVIDIA card, using OBS. So if that's what you're here for, that's what that is. But I personally think the more important conversation here is talking about why it's so important to use something that gives you the ability to watch an encounter back and learn from it. So I've been doing a lot of thinking just about how I got to where I am. Now, I am nowhere near the best Escape from Tarkov player. I have light years to go as a player, but I have come a really long way for somebody who my background is console gaming, relatively new to the PC scene over the past few years, and coming from someone who my first few months of Escape from Tarkov were 7, 8, 11% survival rates. And so I've really felt like over the past few weeks and months that I've really stepped into another caliber of player. And I've just been processing what that is. And I have used this replay buffer tool for as long as I could have, almost the entire time I've been playing Tarkov, to figure out a way to get better at the game. So before we get into the technical side of that, I want to talk about why it's so important. So when you think about how video games work, we are at the mercy of so many things in order to do this, especially a PvP oriented game. And that's just in any game, right? We are at the mercy of our computer hardware. We're at the mercy of the servers that the games are on. We're at the mercy of the net code that the game developers use and the stability of it. We are at the mercy of our own internet connection and its stability, and even in some cases our opponent's internet connection. There's a lot technologically that goes on to create these experiences and these games that we love. And then on top of that, we look at a game like Tarkov specifically, where anything can happen, right? Tarkov really sets itself apart with these really big maps, with these really complicated and amazing ballistic models, and all the different variety of guns and caliber of weapons. You know, somebody could be just sitting in a bush, camping out a spawn. Somebody could be a few 100 meters away from you and get a really lucky snipe. A ricochet could happen. They could have just the best ammo in the game. They could have the worst ammo in the game. Especially a game like Tarkov, there's an insane amount of possibilities that can happen. And then on top of all that, in Escape from Tarkov, the risk has never been higher, right? So in any game, you know, in PUBG, just about anything can happen. Somebody can hit a lucky shot, somebody can be camping. In Call of Duty, just about anything can happen. But in Escape from Tarkov, not only is the possibilities of what can happen widened by the large maps and the ballistics, but there's an added risk of actually losing something, right? And there's a fear of losing everything I have, brings me all the way down to zero, and then I'm not going to have any money or any weapons, and this game's not going to be fun. So when you add all of that together, the technology, the fact that anything can happen, the fact that in Tarkov even more things can happen, and the risk involved, it makes dying a really frustrating experience. And I've found with me personally that I'll use just about anything as a scapegoat, right? I'll blame the netcode, or I'll blame lag and stutters, or I'll even blame cheaters. And sometimes those things happen, of course, right? Sometimes you will die and you will lose gear because a huge stutter happened right as you got into a firefight. You know, sometimes a cheater will slip through the anti-cheat and they'll speed hack right up to you and they'll kill you. But what I found is that for me personally, of all the times I've called cheater, of all the times I've called, oh, well, that was this, or, you know, I died after I killed him, so it must have been the netcode, or it must have been something. Most of the time, like 8 out of 10 times I call those things, it wasn't those things. And it was only because I was able to watch it back that I held myself accountable. I can't tell you how many times that I've gotten embarrassed on my stream because I yelled that this happened or that happened. We watched the clip back and I'm put in my place that maybe I just missed. Maybe my shot ricocheted off his helmet or something else could have happened. So I found that a lot of the times when I call those things, they haven't happened. And then even when those things are true, even when I died because of the netcode, even when I died because there was a cheater, there's almost always something I can pull out of that engagement. Okay, that guy was speed hacking, but if this engagement had played out without a hacker, I didn't even realize that there was really good hard cover right there, or I hadn't even considered that I could have flanked around that way. And it maybe wouldn't have changed that engagement because there are circumstances out of my control, but maybe it'll change the next engagement that I get in around that area. Because I'm a firm believer that, believe it or not, your attitude sets the pace for your progression. I know that kind of sounds crazy, but if you have a desire to learn from your mistakes, if you have a desire to get better at this game by breaking down exactly what happened and what you could have done wrong, I believe that that sets you on a course to get better faster. Using these tools are invaluable. Being able to watch an encounter back, like we said, countless times that I've died or I thought there's no way, or even just when I die. Another great example is just when you die and you're not sure what happened, right? In Escape from Tarkov, this can happen all the time. Where was that guy? You know, being able to watch it back and then you watch it back a few times and you can say, oh, well, now I can hear that he came from the left. Maybe it was somebody sniping, or I killed that guy. How did he kill me? And when you watch it back, oh, there was another guy. I didn't know it was a duo. There are countless situations, and being able to watch that back and actually see what happened and think about what you could have done. Or maybe like I shot at that guy, but I didn't even realize that there was hard cover right there. If I had moved right there behind that rock, I could have waited for him to come around and got a much cleaner shot on him. There's infinite possibilities, and there's so much to learn by watching these clips back. Escape from Tarkov is a really high knowledge game, right? There's so much to learn, and I used knowledge as a crutch a lot in my kind of beginning months of Escape from Tarkov, because that's how I personally like to learn. I like to absorb and soak up knowledge. So I read the wiki and articles, and I watched all the guides, and I watched all the YouTube videos. And I did, looked at the maps, and I had all this knowledge of what to do and how the ammo works. And I know I want this armor and I know I want this thing, but translating that into actual gameplay is really, really hard. Once again, especially my background was console gaming, not a whole lot of PC, and not a lot of like game sense and just being able to feel how an encounter is going to play out. And so translating that knowledge into a firefight can get frustrating, and especially because I have all this knowledge, and a lot of times as soon as I die, I can be like, oh my gosh, I knew I shouldn't have done that. And I don't know what I should have done, but I knew I shouldn't have done that, right? Like I knew I had bad ammo. Why did I take that fight? Or I felt like that was the wrong thing to do, but I did it because I didn't know what else to do. Being able to watch this back gives you a lens to use the knowledge you've acquired, right? Because it's a split-second decision. You've got all this knowledge of the game, and in 1 second, you have to say, I see a guy, I need to do this. And that's a huge disconnect, because learning the knowledge is good, but being able to translate that into these absolute split-second decisions is hard. But when you can then watch something back, you're free to use that knowledge that you've acquired to look at that same clip of you through a new lens and say, okay, now I can see that I should have done this, or now I can see that I should have done that. And that is going to help dramatically. And it's not going to happen overnight, right? Watching some really experienced streamers, you can see how they play this out, or streamers or YouTubers or whatever. This is really how you teach yourself game sense, right? So you take a guy like Shroud who drops into Escape from Tarkov, who has insane game sense, right? He knows how to take fights. He knows how to shoot. He knows how to click on heads, but he didn't have a lot of knowledge of the game. Well, you can learn knowledge really fast. And so you see him do really, really well, really, really quickly. You know, I watch a lot of Deadly Slob, and you can see his gears turning. He's been doing this for so long. He's been playing this game for so long. You can see him not only thinking where he wants to go, but where his enemy's going to want to go. Or if somebody spawned over there, I think that the most likely path they're going to take is here. Or we started an engagement and we didn't end that engagement, so he's probably going to want to do this. So that means if he's doing that, I'm going to want to do this. And you see a plethora of decisions made in a split second. And you have to encourage yourself and know that that's not going to happen overnight, right? Like, this isn't going to happen in an instant. But being able to watch yourself back, being able to break something down, being able to humble yourself and say, I thought that that was a cheater and it wasn't. I thought that that was this and it wasn't. That's how you teach yourself that. You start to ask those questions. And it doesn't have to be this big homework assignment to go through all these clips one by one and take notes on what you could have done. It's just, I don't know what happened there. Let me clip it. Let me watch it back. Oh, wow, I should have done this. Or, oh, wow, there was nothing I could have done. I made the right decision. I just lost that fight. You close it, you delete it, and you're gone. This is going to set you on that course much, much faster, because playing the game, you're always just going to be getting better at whatever pace you get better. But by doing this, you are going to accelerate that. I have felt that for me. And I know it'll happen. And the tools are there for you to do that, right? OBS is free. Streamlabs OBS is free. NVIDIA Shadowplay, the AMD version of that, it's all free. It's available for you. They have basically no limitations. Like, I haven't really noticed any FPS drop by enabling this. And to be honest with you, I would trade 10 FPS in Tarkov for the ability to do this. It is that important to me. So like I said, down below, I'm going to have links from YouTubers that I think do a really good job of how to explain how to set up these things, whatever you want to do. If you want to go through the manufacturer of your graphics card, if you want to use OBS, you don't have to be streaming to do this. You don't have to be recording your entire raids or your entire night's worth of raids. It's just these little snippets that you can immediately delete, so you're not even taking up a ton of hard drive space. There's really no downside. There's no cost involved, and it will help you get better at this game. So that's it. That's the tip that I have that is guaranteed to help you get better at Escape from Tarkov, and probably as fast as possible. Thank you so much for taking the time to check this out. If you have any questions about this or how I do this, hit me up down below. This video is going to be launching a new series that I have called Beyond the Grave, where I'm actually going to take a look at a few clips from my streams, and we're going to break down what I could have done better. We're going to break down what my decision making was and why I chose to make the decisions that I did, what I could have done better. And we're going to use these to kind of show you guys how I break that down, how I get better. And hopefully that will help you guys get better and help you kind of see some of those circumstances and give you an example of how to do that for yourself. I stream Escape from Tarkov about 4 days a week. All my links are going to be down below. I'm always trying to create content that helps shorten the learning curve of Escape from Tarkov and gets you in your raids having fun and surviving. That is my goal. Thank you again for stopping by, and I will definitely see y'all on the next one.